Hello, marketers. Welcome once again to Marketers Lead Talk, where we bring industry intellects for you to gain real insights with professional learning. Welcome, Jasrita, to Marketers Lead Talk. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing well, Sachin. Thank you. How about you?
I'm absolutely fine and glad this time we are meeting live.
Yes.
To my audience, I would like to share that Jasrita was the first interviewer that we did in the Marketers League Talk when it was in the written format. And I'm very happy to host you, Jasrita, in the video format that we have taken now. And of course, blog is out there. So welcome once again, in fact, to you.
Thank you. I didn't know this. So thank you for sharing this trivia. And I'm very pleased to be here in this avatar.
My pleasure. Pleasure is absolutely ours. And continuing the conversation, as the topic for today we have taken is digital transformation. So why do brand needs a digital transformation?
You know, it's funny, Sachin, there are many reasons why companies, brands might take digital transformation. They do that adoption. But most likely the reason is that they have to, that there is no choice. The reason is for survival. That is the most likely reason if you would ask marketers, or if you go back in time and see the ones who were early adopters. As pressures build in terms of an organization's ability to quickly deal with supply chain disruptions, as we saw at the time of a pandemic, okay, the businesses which were not local, or the pressures of go-to-market, getting the product to market, you know, a new product, an innovative product, or the changing customer expectations. There is no choice but to do digital transformation. I want all of us who are listening in, watching in, to go back maybe a few years back in time, not too much, maybe just 7-8 years back in time. Nobody would have suggested that we hop on to a cab with a stranger, yet shared rides became a reality, right? I couldn't think about it. I personally couldn't think of about a decade ago of buying clothes without trying them on. You know, you had this mind block that, you know, everybody is different and how can you just buy clothes before trying it on? Today, it's a reality. Today, it's a way of life, right? So the truth is that no matter how smug businesses might become in their comfort zones, disruptions will happen to the business models. Disruptions are bound to happen to the service delivery models. And thanks to the pandemic, these disruptions are going to happen dime a dozen now, okay? They are coming by the dozen. So therefore, I think to, you know, wrap this answer is to say that the most likely reason is that brands have to, in order to be able to deliver to the changed customer expectations.
That's absolutely, in fact, that's a way out been left for all the companies and the brands to take the things seriously about the digital transformation that you are suggesting for sure. I do agree. So what are the areas where you think the digital transformation can be of great impact and how it can be more useful?
See, if you look at the areas broadly, there are 3 or 4 areas only, but I'd like to maybe go in for a more detailed answer so that it is also helpful for people who are thinking of maybe digital transformation for their organizations. At a broad level, digital transformation is about customer experience, customer focus, is about organizational, the business model. And third is a delivery, the delivery value chain. How do you do it? Broadly, these are these 3 areas only, and it is all backed by, of course, on a bedrock of technology. But like I said, let's go into details. You know, the first is customer focus. The first shift that the company has to move is from being product focused, service focused, whatever focus you are, to customer focused, right? Those digital transformations shouldn't fail. There are some such examples as well, where the central focus, you know, the central pivot is not the customer, where you're doing it for organizational efficiencies only, you know, let's say, or revenue generation. Those kind of digital transformations don't work. The best kinds that we talk about in case studies, emulate as brands, want to be there, are with the customer focus. So I think that's number one. The second is organizational structure, because organizations need to then embrace a lot of transparency. And we know that we love our silos and we love our comfy, turfs that we want to control. That's not the kind of organizational structure that can sort of support digital transformation, right? So it's very important that people get in new leaders, fresh leaders with a digital vision, right? So that's very important. Digital transformation, I've seen many organizations say, "Ye project hai. This is a project. Let's give it to an IT person." It's not a project which can sit somewhere, in some orbit. No, it has to be embedded at every level. So therefore, it's very much a top-down approach and not a bottoms-up approach. So I think that's second. The third is, like I said, change management, and that's related to the second point. That change management is very, very important. And again, many digital transformations fail because employees don't support it. They don't sort of embrace it, right? The fourth area which is related to it is about transformational leadership, because without transformational leadership, there has to be somebody who can make you believe in that you are, spur you into action and make you feel that you're part of bigger than something than just yourself, than what you bring to the table, that what you will be able to deliver for the customer and therefore for the organization is bigger than what each one of you individually sort of bring to the table. Then the area that's important is of integration, so all the data, information, which is lying in, again, different silos with different departments. I think integration is another very important area of digital transformation. Internal customer experience. Not many people run their entire digital journey through the new digital transformed journey with the internal employees before launching it to the world. I think that's a cardinal sin, because your internal employee experience is as important, right? If there was a way of doing things, delivering things, and then now there is a new way of doing things, first your internal customers have to be convinced about it. First, they have to feel that delight. And once they feel this delight, then of course they'll sort of take it to the world. And finally, I think data security, privacy, and data ethics is extremely important. Okay, the one flip side of this whole digital transformation and that area that we need to pay attention to is that there are also these skeptics who say that, oh my God, if this business is moving entirely digital, what are they going to do with my data? Right? What's happening to my data and the information that's resting with them? So I think the whole security, privacy, and ethics is very important. And finally, with all this digitization and digitalization and the digital transformation that you've done, at the end of the day, the proof of the pudding is in eating it. And that is if you can give a personalized experience then to every customer, and personalized to not just a cohort, but personalized to you, personalized to Sachin, so like that. Yeah, I think, sorry about this long answer, but I thought that it's important to delve into these areas.
We love long answers and the value addition definitely that you did with that. So that's amazing. How finally it would impact the business improvement once a digital transformation happened?
So first of all, I think it gives you this whole there's agility that comes, and today I think you would have heard it from other, leaders as well, that agility is going to be one. Agility, adaptability, resilience, these are the three very important values, in the post-pandemic world. So the first thing that digital transformation does is that it supports the whole agile methodology. So there's agility that comes in your decisions. That's one. The second is, it of course increases your productivity by automating the redundant tasks. There's redundancy that goes from the system, and there is more productivity that comes in. That's the second. The third, of course, it enhances customer experience and customer engagement. I'm sure we'll delve more into it. It improves your ability to make decisions faster, right? Because the data is learning, because the systems are more intelligent, and over a period of time, you have all that intelligence to make your decision making more intuitive and more intelligent. And finally, it allows businesses to take advantage of the big data. So I think these are the top 4-5 areas with which it helps businesses.
And that's really powerful, the points that you have mentioned. And the data point, I think when it comes to marketing, when it comes to branding, sometimes data is neglected because the ROI aspect is sometimes being compromised when we talk about the branding. Right. So what is your take on this aspect of branding versus ROI?
am somebody who has wholeheartedly embraced the science of marketing. Like they say that science is both an art and science. Art is the whole branding aspect, the visual representations, the storytelling, and all of that. And then there is a science.
Yeah, that's really wonderful answer, Jasrita, you have given. So how does brand transformation improves the customer experience?
When you personalize the digital customer journey, it causes customer delight. We started out this interaction by saying that you have to keep the customer at the focus of it. So that means every decision is being taken at an organizational level, the customer in mind, right? So there's this recent Accenture report which says that 56% of the consumers are more likely to buy if you're recognized by your name. Now, what does digital transformation and all that data gives you is that you are able to be recognized as a consumer, right? So that's point number one. The second is, after you're recognized, you are being offered relevant recommendations, okay? Again, about 58% of the customers are more likely to buy if they are told about, if the store online, or wherever, remembers their preferences, remembers and reminds them what they bought last time, right? So therefore, that's the second thing. Third, being remembered, right? Which is on your birthdays, on your anniversaries, or on important occasions, etc. Right? So there is so much that digital transformation personalizes to, like I said, to every individual, not to a cohort, that it automatically leads to customer delight.
That's what
it's a very enhanced and a heightened sort of customer experience.
True that, absolutely. So what would be your tips for the marketers to contribute into digital transformation?
Well, I mean, let's put it this way, that if marketers are the ones who think that they are the custodians of customers, right? We say that a customer hame pata hai, right? In the organization, we are the ones. Then your customers are going native on you. Digitally native, that is, right? So there is no online versus offline business these days, nothing. There's just business. And your customers expect the same brand experience, right? Whether they are consuming it through a laptop or on the go or on a mobile or on any device or on phone, they expect the same experience from the brand, right? So because your consumer has gone digitally native on you, I would say what I said at the beginning of the interview, that as marketers, I don't think we have a choice, right? So we got to adapt to that and we got to respond to that. That is the reality. That's the reality check. But in terms of steps or actions that they can take is, I would say, collaborate with your IT and your data scientists, your data analytics, collaborate with your customer experience on floor managers, collaborate with those people, get your hands dirty, and don't just say that, we will come in with those customer insights and fancy presentations and come up karo, and that's not going to work. You've got to get your hands dirty, immerse yourself in that experience, collaborate with other functional team members. And then only can marketeers once again claim that we own the customer, that we are the real custodians of the customer in the true sense of the word. That's my 2 bits.
I really loved your line about be the custodian of the customer. And
yeah,
that's a true success actually comes from this line. If one truly believes in it. I appreciate that. So how a product then can be converted into a brand, or how a product can be made as a brand?
That, I'm afraid, is a topic altogether, Sachin, for another one of our talks, because that's a full subject. This question is pretty much a topic like digital transformation, that how to the journey that product or service takes to become a brand. So I think we can do another one on it. But since you've asked the question, very briefly, what I can say is that products have attributes. Products can have substitutes. Products are interchangeable. Products are forgettable, right? Brands are not forgettable, right? Even though they might not have any more supply in the market, right? There are no Kodak films, none, right? There are no film rolls now, but we still call it a Kodak moment. We still say that, right? Why do we say that? Is because the brand has outlived the product. And the whole process of how can a brand become a brand so that it takes the most expensive piece of real estate in the world in consumers' minds. सबसे expensive real estate है हमारे, it stays in our minds. So what all to do, what all happens in that journey is, I think, a subject matter of another day. But this was just very briefly that how products can become brands.
That's right. That's important. And thank you so much for taking up this question and very briefly, but very nicely answering to it. I appreciate that. So with the wrap up of the show, would like to have your thoughts on the marketing soul, our community of passionate marketers, you being our community mentor, supporting us a lot. So what are your thoughts for our audience?
I believe we need more of such communities. I believe we need marketers to come together. I believe that there need to be platforms such as the Marketing Soul, such as the one that you have started, Sachin, which talks about contemporary issues, which talks about a little bit of, ahead thinking of what's happening, which shares stories from other brands, from other industries for all of us to benefit from, because that's the only way that we can network in a post-COVID, in a pandemic sort of a world, and get to learn from each other's experiences. So you're doing a yeoman service. Thank you for that.
Great. Thank you so much for your kind and motivational words for us to work more, achieve more for our community. And it's a wrap up. Thank you, Jasrita, Dhir, for being with us on the Marketers Need Talk. It's been amazing learning, and the points that you shared, especially the custodian aspect or the data synchronization and a lot many other things that you shared. It's been a wonderful learning from your side. So thank you so much once again.
Thanks a lot. I look forward to being on the platform once again. Have a good day ahead.
Great. Thank you so much.